Elizabeth Sutton walks into a bar. What is she ordering?
I would make a joke, but I'm not so funny. I love mezcal, please.
Can you make a joke? You are funny. You're funny. What joke would you make if you walked into a bar?
I don't know, I'm a grandma. I go to sleep on my couch, but I will take a cocktail in the middle of my Monday. Sure, why not? Just for you.
It's so perfect because on our cocktail menu at Champagne Problems, we have a cocktail called Please Don't Ever Become a Stranger, whose giraffe I could recognize anywhere. That comes in a giraffe, which how could this not be more fitting than the Elizabeth Sutton who put giraffe wallpaper inside Champagne Problems. So we're gonna make that mezzy cocktail for you, baby. So it's actually a banana-infused mezcal that we use, Amras Mezzy, yeah.
You make it?
Yeah, oh yeah. We infuse it with some banana chips. We put a little banana. Are you good with banana?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. And then we
Monday afternoon, and I'm gonna have a cocktail.
Yeah, like be good with the shit. Yeah,
it's fine.
We're gonna sip, we're gonna cocktail. Now We Sip Champagne obviously is the name of the podcast, but we sip on a lot of different things because it's really the analogy of once you've made it, once it's your Monday, and once you can do whatever the hell you want, like what are you gonna be sipping on if you're asked? So that's it.
Actually, mezcal and sake are my two favorite liquors.
Really? Those are very distinctive tastes, like somebody that likes something that the flavor comes through. Definitely a girl that likes to taste her spirit, not something that likes to be hidden. Some of this here, yeah.
I love these cups, so cute.
Let's cheers to
savage New York women hustling and following their dreams and making fucking money and good vibes and creating beautiful things.
Good vibes, she said it. She said fuck, not me, but she's fucking right. Two fucking New York fucking women making it happen and always about the good vibes.
Cheers.
Yeah,
exactly.
cheers, baby.
Amen.
Elizabeth Sutton, well, welcome to Now We Sip Champagne, and today we are actually sipping on mezcal cocktails that you requested, which was so perfect because we're going to get into how we met, but you actually put giraffes into the home of Champagne Problems, and now we're sipping out of some giraffes. So like, cheers. Cheers to the giraffes of our world, and cheers to Elizabeth Sutton. We're going to just put that up there like that and take a little sip here because I love a fellow mezzy girl. So
it's actually delicious. Is this on your menu?
This is on our menu.
So good.
And this is, I make the cocktails. I collaborate with some, but this is one that I put on, and then I design the cocktails. Like, this is always kind of like what I'm known for is putting them into fun vehicles. So it's not just like a great cocktail, but, we want to take a picture with it, and it's fun to be drinking out of a giraffe, and obviously very, very fitting for the venue. So let's start off about our love story, about how we met. It was when I was first starting the project of Champagne Problems 2 years ago. I had reached out to different designers, and I reached out to Dina Singer just to, kind of get some information, and she was like, I know just the girl for you. She's like, I know just the person for you to meet. And so she told me about you, and I went to your gallery, which was downtown at the time, and I walked in, and we had a meeting, but nobody knew who I was, so I was just kind of like walking through, and I saw this picture on the wall, and everything was beautiful, like right away. So full of color, so full of life, and I'm a very colorful person, and I'm very full of, every single corner you're feeling something, and sometimes that's not for everyone. There's art that's minimalist, but there's also art that just like
maximalist.
Is it, baby? Is maximalist. And so, but there was a picture on your wall, I'll never forget. It was red brick and blue fire escapes.
Oh, that's a good one.
And I fell in love. It just hit me, like a ton of bricks. But it hit me because, and I know I've told you this before, but it was so quintessential New York. And it was something that was New York because, yes, buildings are tall and they're red brick and they're fire escapes, but it was something that brought me back to the pandemic. And being on the Upper East Side, I remember everybody going out on their fire escapes, and, we banged the pots for the healthcare workers. And that brought me back to a time, again, of community of New York, of how much we all like fought for each other. I remember the Upper East Side, and this is before I even knew you were an Upper East Sider. And
sixth generation New Yorker, which is pretty hard to find, actually.
So when I'm saying that this spoke to me, and so like we met, and you know me, I was like in the middle of construction, so I'm like, da-da-da-da, I got to do this.
You left my gallery, just so you know. I was like, oh, and I'm on speed. I was like, oh my God, that woman's on speed.
Yeah, you were like, I've never met anybody that talks as much as I do, or even more. And
as
I'm like,
fast.
Yeah. And as fast. And I was like, this is what I need. This is what I imagine. And I had told you that there was this, famous art of the monkeys getting drunk, drinking Stoli. And I was like, I would like to reproduce that, but I want my own, because giraffe was something that I was going to bring in. I had this actual life-size giraffe that I was going to put in the bar. And I was like, I don't know. I'm thinking like giraffes are like drunk on the fire escapes, on your fire escapes. Do you think? And you were like, yeah. We got it. I got this.
I really remember actually creating this artwork for you. I was flying to Miami. I promise you, no one has ever browsed so many giraffe photographs or body positions in their lives. I must have sorted through like 3,000 images of different giraffe compositions. And I also promise you that no one can ever say they performed digital giraffe surgery like I have, chopping off different heads, different bodies to each other because we had to make them kind of make sense. How do you make giraffes on city fire escapes make sense, but like make sense in tuxedos, popping champagne and kissing each other? So I was like cutting off heads and putting this leg with this face. I'm a giraffe surgeon for you.
You're a giraffe surgeon, and that's because I was like, no, they all can't be straight giraffes. We need a gay giraffe. We need this one and a pink one. No, I don't like the smile on this one. This one's got to be like drunk in a bucket because, and you had said it, you invited me into your home, which is stunning, by the way. And every little detail, and you were like, every little detail. Yeah, I'm in every little detail, but you were able to hit every little detail on the mark. And I can tell you that, you know, with what I wanted, I knew that each one of these giraffes was going to speak to a different human. And it does. It does. Every single time they come in, they're like, I'm that giraffe. That's me. That's the one I want to take a picture in front of. The one with the tongue out. The one that's drunk, drinking in a bucket. The one that's just like, I'm always the one in the gold suited jacket that's just like by herself, just like, let me live, right? And then you've got the other ones that are spraying it and throwing champagne. And it's like, it's beautiful. It's a representation of all different types of people and the way that they drink, the way that they enjoy themselves, the way that they're thinking, the way that they want to be in New York as giraffes.
What I love is that I could tell you definitively that there is no other design like it in the universe. So to say that something is completely unique as a designer, like even when I am designing something for my brain and not looking at inspiration, okay, very often somewhere in the world you're going to find something like it. But I'll tell you definitively that, one, it was one of my most time-consuming digital designs I've ever done in my career, okay? Because each facet had to be done by itself, and they're alive. If you really analyze that design, there's so many facets, so many giraffes, fire escapes, champagne bottles, buckets, I mean, tongues, you remember.
Yep.
But there's literally nothing like it in the universe from a design perspective, which I think is really amazing to say.
It's really amazing. It's amazing, but it's also makes perfect sense to me because you're
for both of us.
You're
we're both psychotic and unique.
You're 101 and I'm 101, and together, when two 101s, we make one of a kind type of thing. As in, like, my brain operates on a certain frequency. Your brain operates on a certain frequency, and we got together and we created this where I do know, because of course, you know, I know bars. I know what's inside bars. I know what's on their walls. I have seen everything, you know, like Flavor Paper in Brooklyn. There's somebody that like I love. I remember they had one New York paper, Dan Funderburg. He did it. It was with fire extinguishers and rats. I had seen it in a bar in Gramercy once upon a time. That bar's not there anymore, but I remember like, this is so like New York to show rats and fire extinguishers, just like it's New York, but it was beautiful, where I'm like, this is something that is all our own. There's nobody that can take any credit for this other than us. And it would only take two human being, I guess, speed demons, if you want to call us.
Psychos.
A couple of psychopaths. A couple of psychopaths walk into a bar and then they create some amazing giraffe wallpaper. Like, you're welcome, world. How did you become a giraffe surgeon? How did you become this, magician as far as like graphic design? Because your story goes back and you have a really incredible story as to how you leaned in entirely into your art and you became this artist and this surgeon. How did that start?
So you own a place called UES. I call myself an Upper East Side housewife gone rogue. I grew up in New York and Brooklyn, moved to the city when I was 17 to the Upper East Side. I spent 2 years downtown, and then I moved to the Upper East Side realistically when I was 19. I got married when I was 21, very young. I was traditional, conservative, religious. I went through a series of losses from dead friends very young, to miscarriages, to severe financial losses, to the crumbling of my marriage, the death of my father-in-law, et cetera, trauma, 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 trauma. I became an artist accidentally. I'm actually fully self-taught as a painter, designer, and businesswoman. I hadn't yet graduated college. I wasn't allowed to work. I was in a very traditional marriage. And we had lost all our money overnight, effectively. I was living this princess, Upper East Side housewife life that, quite frankly, I was miserable in, but there was a money Band-Aid on it. And, by the way, goggles, no good. And I was in love when I got married, but I got married a child, so I changed, you don't know anything when you're 21. And I started painting because we lost our money while I was in the middle of a fancy renovation on my son's nursery, and I couldn't afford the art I wanted anymore, and I had a vision. And I painted on a Sunday, and I put it on Instagram, and someone sent me a DM saying, "Oh, I love your art. Can you make me something?" I said, "Sure, a little time, a little money, why not?" And that's quite frankly how I became an artist. In my past life as an Upper East Side housewife, my first creative outlet was cooking and floral arranging and tablescaping. And when we lost our money and I needed to start working, I thought I was going to become like a private dinner party chef hostess. And I accidentally became an artist from God, straight from God. My life revolves around God. God gives me everything in my life, but it was straight from God, honestly. And that's literally how I started my career. I went through a number of trials and tribulations. When I left my marriage, I had a 3-week-old and a just shy of 2-year-old, and I had no money and no plan, quite frankly. But I knew I needed to make some moves. I was miserable and not aligned with myself. Really, I wasn't aligned with myself. I was losing my integrity. I was becoming a worse version of myself, and I knew that that's not what I wanted for myself, nor how I wanted to live my life. And it was super scary. But I had to make moves. There were no other options. I left in really precarious situation, especially financially, and just said I'm going to hustle. I had a dream of launching a dinnerware collection so I could actually monetize my art, because I put myself in a position where I was going to have a severe fiscal burden on myself, like needing to earn the equivalent of $500,000 pre-tax dollars within a 2-year time period when I was making no money. Haha, that's psychotic.
That's psychotic, yeah.
And I said, I'm just going to do it. I don't care how hard I need to work. I'm just going to do it. And by the way, that's for like a baseline, living in New York City with 2 children, nothing crazy for life, but like baseline. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to create a pressure cooker on myself. I got to go. I don't care if I have to work from 4 o'clock in the morning till 1 o'clock in the morning, which P.S. I did for years. I set my alarm at 4 a.m. for years, 3 to 4 times a week. And I got up and freaking checked things off my to-do list on the couch from 4:30 until 6:30 when my babies, I had newborns when I woke up. And then I dropped them at school. I went to my studio and came home and was a mom, and then went to my night shift and la-di-da-di-da. And I had a vision to launch my dinnerware collection. I had an internship in college in fashion, strong, silk bodies, strong prints. And I said, I'm going to mimic that business model, but for dinnerware. And I put the little money I got from my divorce towards that. And then 6 months after I got divorced, my assistant was killed in my car leaving my birthday party. Sorry if this is too much, but that's just the reality of how my career transpired and spiraled and kind of got diversified and a little confused, and non-strategic decisions being made out of desperation and low-hanging fruit and necessity. Also, that circumstance itself, if this is not just a business podcast, but that circumstance of my assistant getting killed in my car, leaving my birthday party, so from a high to a low, it kind of pulled the rug out of me on every facet of my life versus the other traumas in my life that were either personal or business or one-lane traumas. This was like a full throttle life trauma. I'm not a human. How am I going to survive this? I have 2 little kids. I need to get myself better, or I won't survive financially, emotionally, none of it. It is both the best and worst thing that ever happened to my life, because worst, like it goes without saying, it's tragic. I was 27 years old, left behind a 3-year-old daughter. Best because it taught me to live my best life, chase fast, live my dreams, not give a F, since we're trying not to curse here, what other people think. I was forced to work on myself and heal trauma from my past that I was kind of coasting through because I hadn't yet hit rock bottom, so I could coast. But had I not been forced to work I would never have gotten the things that I want in life. And I still don't have everything that I want, but I'm very content with where I am. And I love my life and I'm so happy, and God willing, the rest of the things will come in the right time. I don't feel that had I not hit that low, I ever would have really fully reflected on everything I had been through in my life as a child, growing up in New York City clubs since I'm 13 years old, parents, terrible divorce, la-di-da-di-da, a lot of trauma there. And that forced me to really work on myself and get what I wanted for myself, which one is to be emotionally healthy, the best mom I could possibly be, my best self for myself, heal, and ultimately also the best businesswoman, the best person, alignment, proper healed alignment. Sorry.
Okay, damn. Let's take a drink here, okay? Like, cheers to that shit, because
Cheers.
I've
never heard you quiet for so long.
I don't think anybody has, honey. I think you shut me right the hell up over here, because like, all right, let me tell you. So that hits very personally, very hard. And in life, and my guys, they hear me say this all the time. Like, everyone is afforded the same choices when like life hits, right? And in life, certain people are meant to be generals. When the bombs are exploding around you, there are only a certain people that have been given the gift to be the general. When you know that war is coming and you know that the enemy is coming and everything is exploding around you, there still has to be one brave person that stands up and says, we're going to fight. There has to be one brave person that says, it's okay, we're going to get through this. And that's an inherent gift.
Napoleon.
Yeah.
I think he's won the most battles of anyone in the world. My son taught me that.
Yeah. So, honey, like, you've been given that gift. It's not something that's easy at all. And you rattled this off, and knowing that it was even emotional and, hard for you to like give us this information, which thank you very much to share that with us and share your story. And I know that, you have shared the story. I've known bits and pieces, maybe not all the pieces, but to be able to take a story like that and still show up like the butterfly that you are, we're all given this, and I say this all the time, you can either be the person with the excuses that say, I'm sorry, and you could use every single thing that ever happened to you, and it would be a valid excuse for you.
I'm not a victim.
No, you're not a fucking victim, and I'm going to use that word because I'm going to tell you right now that is a choice. You can choose to be the victim and say, look at everything that's happened to me. Look at every bomb that has exploded around me. You make this choice, and you made the choice to show up, and when you make that choice to show up, that choice, it will reward you. Just like you said, God has rewarded you to be strong, because of course, like I say this sometimes where, everyone's like, pray to God. I'm like, has anybody ever asked how God's doing? Has anyone checked in? Because everyone goes to God to help them. Everyone goes to God to pray, but how's God doing? Did God have coffee today? Like, are we ever so we're always pulling from this God, and it may be, God in different forms or whomever your God is, but we're always pulling. But God never makes excuses. God never says, I'm too tired. God never said, well, this person asked me for a favor today, so I can't help you out today. God is just there for you every single day. And so when you've been given this gift, albeit, through God, by God, you are meant to be on this earth to keep forging forward. You obviously had no choice also as being a mom, like you couldn't choose to be a victim. You have
I'm going
children.
to be honest, I very easily could have just like married some rich guy. It would have been easy
Oh,
for
hell
me.
yeah. Yo, every single day I'm
would have
like,
been
why did
very
I marry
easy for
some
me.
rich guy? Rich guys, like,
I
you know what I mean?
I could have.
You could have. You still can. Look at you.
I will, actually. If I'm going to get married again, when I get married again, God willing, to someone I love, they're going to be rich because I am looking for an achiever who works hard, who's brilliant, so they're going to be rich.
Oh, well, they have
But
to. Yeah,
I could have married a rich guy, and I chose not to do that.
Yo, I'm from Vegas. I could have easily not opened up bars and just gotten married real young and made that my career is to be a professional wife, which we all know is a real profession out there. And to, cheers to our wives out there. But, and not to knock, because I'm with anybody.
Actually, I think to each their own. I don't think there's one path for everybody. And that's the problem with this planet, is that everyone wants to, what's the word I'm looking for? Project what they think is right for other people.
Yeah, that's really weird.
But we should all be, like, someone wants to be a housewife, someone wants to be a psycho workaholic, someone wants to, whatever everyone wants to do, they do them.
they got to do them. I mean, I'm from Vegas where like stripping was a real profession. Door guy was a real profession. Bodybuilders, things like that, professions where you don't always see where you're like, yeah, my next door neighbor's mom is a stripper. Yeah, like that's just like kind of part of it. So everyone does have to do them. And I think we also know that like you can't talk anybody out of their own choices. And we're all afforded the same choices. And it only slows you down. I find that the people that have so much time to talk about you and your choices have nothing going on in their own life. Like people love to talk shit about me. They love to talk shit about you. I know that.
I don't have time to care.
Who has time to slow down for their shit?
Don't worry about that. I don't have time to give a shit.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Everyone can talk. I launched this podcast. People, like talk shit and I should be this and I should be that. I'm like, I say the same thing. I'm like, let me step onto your podcast. Let me see how you do it. Oh, you don't have one? Oh.
One of my mentors told me if you don't have haters, then you're not successful.
Yes.
So like, I don't even put like energy there. It's like, I don't, my real friends know, don't ever give me information if people are talking shit. I don't even want to know.
No, you don't need to know. You don't need to know. That's, it's what I call like junk food, right? Like you don't need to eat junk food. You don't need.
I'll eat your potato chips in front though, because I love potato chips. And I'll eat your ice cream also.
I have a video of you eating potato chips when you first walked in here, when you were scouting for your
so
wallpaper.
hungry.
You were like, I need these chips.
I'm starving.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like, cut out all the white noise.
So one of the things that car accident, taught me, which is one of the most important lessons I've learned, is like not to give a shit what anyone else thinks. This is my life. I'm going to live once and then I'm going to die. So I'm going to live it aligned with myself. If people are talking, that's a them problem. People were talking. Wow. Were people talking and like, what are you going to, but who cares? Literally.
No, and the truth is you only need to show up for the people at your dinner table. And I always say this all the time, people get really caught up in, you remember even with like the election, who's going to be president, whatever. Like they spend a lot of time talking about Trump and Biden, like their conversations. I'm like, have you guys had either of those guys to dinner? Have either of them ever actually sat at your dinner table? Because you remember people were very much like, don't ever talk to me if you voted for that one. Don't ever talk to me if you voted for that. Regardless, it became a matter of like, I don't know, involving
my answer to all that is like, I hate politics. They're divisive. Please don't discuss it here.
Yeah. Just and you find your tribe. We hear these things, your camp, your tribe, the people that support you, because I know that the people in your circle, they support the hell out of you. They are, your champions. And I have a circle of people that they're my champions. And while maybe I'm not for the majority, I'm for like this circle of people. And this circle of people is what keeps me alive.
Strong,
yeah, hell yeah. Like you're fighting for your family, your kids, the people that love you. You don't need to win over the world, because the world is not at your dinner table.
So it's funny, in the past couple of years, especially since 10-7, and since I started my brand, I was always someone who, for me, at least in my opinion, stood for a strong value system. Single mom, helping divorcees, giving back, philanthropy, working with homelessness, just like good values. And when I stood for Israel, because I am Jewish and I love Israel, I really do respect everyone's perspectives. I really do. But when I stood aligned with my own value system, which is that I stood aligned with Israel because I'm a Jew and I spent all my summers growing up in Israel and I know what actually happens there. I've been there 50 plus times and it's not a apartheid state and they're not genocide baby killers, whatever you want to call them. I stood aligned with my value system and I lost 10 out of 12 of my business deals and I canceled my own brand and la-di-da-di-da-di-da. And I learned like my goals will shift as I experience life, because for a long time, I had these huge dreams of really creating like $1 billion brand, which actually still live inside me. And then when I stood with Israel, I learned, you know what? For me, it's more important to stay aligned with my value system. And if I'm only $1 million brand, that's okay with me, because that much more money won't make me happy, but not being aligned with my values will make me miserable. And I knew what I was doing to my brand, and I chose to do it because I have God, and I really, I knew what not being aligned with my values when I was married felt like to me, and to me that's its own death. But two, I really believe that God gives me my parnasa in Hebrew, which is my living, not people, not brands. You really, at the end of the day, need to just decide what's most important to you. Is money most important to me? Is my value system? Because I really lost most of my brand deals. And I understand why. I actually don't feel mad at these brands. Big corporate brands have a fiduciary responsibility to their investors, their shareholders, to be vanilla, to not have an opinion, to not curse, to not have an opinion. And I chose, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You cannot. So I can't say, oh, these brands, F them, they dropped me. I did not get mad at any of them. I understood. It was hurtful. It was upsetting. It was eye-opening, enlightening, sad. But I can't get mad at these brands. They have their own responsibilities. And it taught me a lot about myself, which is that I'm strong AF. And so for a while, I kind of like shrunk my dreams because I was like, okay, I can't work with all these big brands now. I have an opinion. I'm not going to be vanilla ever, never. And now, 2 years later, God willing, I'm going to be doing my first capital raise ever in 2026. That's a goal of mine. I've teetered back and forth. Should I raise money, not raise money? Then I have controls. Then I have fiduciary responsibility. Any investor who invests with me will understand that my number one priority will not always be just my bottom line. It will be my impact, my legacy, and my bottom line. And they will have faith that I will produce for them no matter what. And that, like, part of that is owning my customer. Like you said, you have your support base, right? The people who really, you're not for everyone, but the ones that you're for, they're so engaged. Same thing. And I'm just going to find more of those people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. And, it's really, because obviously what you said is really beautiful and it's really true and speaks to anything and everything, is that money can buy a lot. And sometimes it can buy you happiness. Let's not be stupid.
It can't.
Well,
it doesn't. I'm telling you right now, it does not. I'm telling you right now, it does not. I was very rich and very miserable. I'm telling you right now.
Oh no, this I understand.
Money buys you comfort. So if you
Money
are
does buy you
already
comfort.
happy, if you're already happy, if you already love yourself, and by the way, happiness is not contingent upon anybody else but yourself. If you already love yourself, it buys a level of comfort that, yes, adds value, but it does not buy happiness. I'm going to tell you that definitively.
Definitely, if you are in a life that you are unhappy. I mean, I get happy when I buy a pair of Louboutins, but I know that's a dopamine hit and I'm over it. But
it's not because you have the Louboutins. It's because you earned the Louboutins. I'm telling you right now, I don't even know you and I know you.
Yeah.
It's not because you have the Louboutins. It's because you earned the Louboutins, and those are two different things. It's not material.
No, you're absolutely right. I was just having this conversation about, I remember the first time I went to the Plaza, it was like something, because I was born in Vegas. I worked in New York when I was a teenager. I was a dancer. I worked on a ship, and then I moved to New York in my early 20s. And I remember the first time going to the Plaza, and, I had a cocktail at the Palm Tree Court, and I was so excited. And there was like a bunch of kids there that like were miserable. They're like, oh, we hate this place. Snotty rich kid. And,
all the kids I grew up with.
Yeah, I mean, not miserable. They don't know better, though, right? They were just, everyone was put onto this earth as a blank slate. As a blank slate. You're taught these things. I mean, if you're taught, you go to the Plaza every day and that's just something you take for granted because that's just like where you go. So like, this is not special for you. But for me to be able to like go to the Plaza for the first time, to like step inside of the Plaza. And it's been a harder struggle for me because of course, a lot of industries, I say it all the time, people hear me, are boys clubs. Okay. But nightlife, it is
the boys
club.
So is real estate, by the way, which is a lot of what I need to work with.
So I could definitely probably be in a different position in my career if I
slept around.
Oh yeah, for sure. If I could sleep around, I would have all the investors. And I would always tell them like, bro, I'll get you laid every day of the week. Anything you want.
Not me though.
Just not me. Like just invest in me.
I have some women who come to my clubs and not me.
I'm like, let me get you rich, but like, and I'll get your rocks off. I'll get you a piece. But like, anyway, yeah, like I don't want to be the person
Isn't it fun being a woman in business?
Oh, it's the best fun. It's like, Taylor's song, If I Were the Man, I'd Be the Man. This is like why I love that song so much. Where I'm like, yo, if I were a fucking dude, man, what a different life I would be living. But, and I go back and forth because there are like, you want to be $1 billion brand, so do I. You knew this the second I met you, and I've been chipping away. It took me 8 years, 3 bars, all on my own. I funded all my own places. I designed my own places. I built my own places, like physically built my own places. And I would be in a different position, maybe if I were a dude, and I'd be like, yo, this is the place where you get laid, and this you can do your lines and do whatever fucking thing you want to do here. But like, I have been fighting against all the dudes that like own this city and own the small amount of like places that you go to. Okay. But as far as like when we leave this earth and the imprint we make on it, I know that I'm making a stronger imprint with the people around me. They see me work. They see me, and I inspire them to also work hard, to also, you went through
Chase your dreams.
Yeah. You went through this hell that you went through, and that's, any sort of strife, any sort of struggle, any sort of, any of these bombs that are exploding. If you come out and you survived, you're a survivor.
I'm a thriver. I'm not a survivor.
You're a thriver, not
Survivor.
a survivor.
Fuck
It's
that
to
shit.
Beyonce, like,
No, fuck that shit. Maybe I'm a survivor in, 2021, 2022, but I'm in 2025, 2026. I'm a thriver.
Okay, hell yeah, you're a
Bitch.
thriver, baby. You're a fucking thriver, honey. Okay, so
I'm not looking to survive. I'm looking to thrive.
you are looking to thrive. So, but you thrive after the hits you've been taking because or maybe you don't know, but I was an actual fighter. I was a Muay Thai fighter in my 20s. So
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I was an actual Muay Thai fighter.
You would be, Cortney.
Yeah, let's just so like
knock him out.
Actually taking like punches to your face and then getting beat up, and then you have to like get back in the ring and like keep doing it. You just have to be like cut from like a certain cloth. So you're a thriver. You did survive. You stand in line with your values, and like I was saying, like it's hard to witness. Like my family's from Syria, and
No way.
my
kids are Syrian Lebanese.
Oh, very nice. Really? Is that where
Yes.
your ex is from?
Syrian Lebanese, yeah.
So speaking
Exactly.
Whoa. Okay, so that's
Now
all.
maybe you have a better understanding.
Oh, because we're nuts, man. But like we're from the Middle East where everyone's bombing
Arabs,
everyone every
correct.
day. So it's like
It's also super chauvinistic culture.
and
the max.
yes, it is. And so like sometimes when people like it's really difficult to focus on whose war that you can give attention to. Where I'm like, yo, in Syria right now, like they're being bombed like today. And nobody really paid the attention, but
Assad is cementing people.
it's
into
not the
the
war
ground.
that's trendy. The Syrian war has never been really trendy for anyone.
Well,
so we're
don't
all
even get me started on this trending Israel war.
yeah, because
Please.
it's definitely
No,
okay. All right,
We
but
like forward motion.
yeah, it's been a lot. But I
No,
think
but you were saying like money buys happiness. I'm telling you, and there are so many studies on this that beyond $70,000 a year, money does not buy incremental happiness, and that's something I've learned in time. Yes, I want to be $1 billion brand. I really do. Why? Because I know I have the potential.
Yeah.
However, my real therapist, who
Yeah.
said you have strong convictions but loose restrictions. Something I've learned about myself in my life is that I'm very fluid. Right now, I might have a certain goal. But you know what? In 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, that goal might shift. And I think that is what makes me successful as a businesswoman and a human. Forget businesswoman, human. I'm not just looking to succeed as a businesswoman and dollars in the bank. I want to succeed as a human. What is the full picture of what makes me happy? Yes, my career, very important. Gives me self-worth, pays my bills. I love to create. Money also affords me experiences, but my health, my children, which is love above all, free, by the way. That's friends, yeah, whatever. Travel. I love my friends, but like full picture of what makes me rich, okay? And that's not all money based. And if one day comes along a circumstance where, I don't need to live in this fear of like, I need to support myself, I can be perfectly fine making $500,000 a year or $1 million a year. I don't need to make $1 billion because the other person has $1 billion and I want to chill and cook, and $500,000 is fun for me. And I decide I'm happy there, I'll shift it. Or if I'm very open to goals, not open. I am a goal setter, okay? I'm a goal digger.
yeah,
A goal
she ain't
digger.
nothing but a gold digger.
I'm a goal digger.
Mm-hmm.
Although Kanye, don't even get me started. Even though I grew up with Kanye and went to all his concerts at the Garden, graduation.
I know he let us all down, so.
He
He let us all down.
He let himself down.
Yes,
let
himself and
down.
all of us.
You
and
know what?
it's very rough.
You know what? He has mental illness. Don't knock it.
Yeah,
Don't knock it. I come from a from mental illness, which
he's got it. He definitely does. Yeah, because he's a mad genius, but he definitely got rocked in that head. Yeah.
But, by the way, my dad too had my life turned upside down because of mental illness, so it's not to be knocked, and it's quite frankly sad. But my point is that I have learned that your goals as you go through life may shift and change, and you should feel comfortable and embrace those shifts. And for me, I know definitively as a kid or even as a young adult, I never would have envisioned this life for myself. I can tell you definitively also that I'm so happy, so freaking happy, happier than, honestly, I'm going to say 98, 99% people, really, because I'm aligned with myself. And if God willing, please God, sustains me exactly where I am, which is I'm not a billionaire, I'm not a multi-millionaire, I'm not. I'm still climbing, and I give myself a very good life. Tfu, thank you, God. But I won't be any happier making $1 billion than I am right now. What will contribute more to my life right now is finding love and support and, certain things I don't have, but like flying first class, it's not gonna make me happier. It might make the flight more comfortable, get more sleep, a little better rested, less exhausted, but like I won't be happier. And I've learned to be okay with shifting my desires as my circumstances change.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to, like I said, take certain hits and then, maybe you've read the book Black Swans, but I'm sure you've heard of it for any entrepreneur. And it talks about, the unpredictables. Like we didn't predict the pandemic. You didn't predict the war. You didn't predict these certain things that were happening, October 7th. Like you didn't know that was going to be something that happened that would change your brand, change your path. So you do have to be prepared for the unpredictable, for the things that these outliers that come into your life. So you do have to always be available to change direction. I talk about ants all the time. So ants, when they're building their colony and they're in their little line and they're like all taking like food to the queen, that's how ant lines work. And you'll see ant lines in the sand. If you go to an ant line and you kick it and you break up their line, immediately they go right back to their line. So you just have to be ready for the hits and the kicks. And then if you do need to change your goals, change your goals. But even if you change maybe your monetary goals, your business goals, your human goals will always be the same, which is to surround yourself with love, surround yourself with support, do things that, like you said.
Good energy.
Yeah, good energy, good vibes. Like this is very, very important to surround yourself and to be happy. Elizabeth, this is the most important thing, is to be happy in your life, because I do say this, and I have never, I could fight and work all day, and being happy is very important at the end of it, to do a life. We are only given this one life, this one shot to put our mark on it. And you want to be happy. Too many people, they live with words of regret, or I should have, or I would. Like, no, don't do that. Don't do that shit. Get out there. If you're going to say something, go out there and do it. Make it happen. And like you said, you can choose the route of the victim, that I couldn't get it done because of X, Y, and Z. There are people that had X, Y, and Z happen to them that are still getting it done and getting more done. So you continue to show up, you continue to change, you continue to create, and you can create a lot of beauty that a lot of people need in their lives. Like your art is fucking, I'm going to say it, I don't care, is beautiful. It's really, really beautiful.
It is.
Yeah. And at the base of it, that's it. I remember multiple times coming into your gallery and you're dancing and you're vibing and you like are coming from
I sell energy, by the way. I don't sell design. I sell energy.
Yeah, you do. That's a great way to put it. You sell energy, because I am the same way. When people come into my venues, I want you to dance. I'll dance.
Dance.
I know you always dance. Very iconic videos of us dancing up on the wall. And
I used to come downtown more. Maybe you could start the party earlier so I can be less of a grandma. I'll come downtown.
Oh my gosh, we're working on that. Josh, our promoter, he's working on these early parties.
Wait, please. Do you know how many old people? I'm not that old, but
You're not old. I'm older than you.
I have it. But I have kids.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would love a place that I could go dance at 8:30 at night and then be home by 11.
Oh my God,
Please do
everybody
that for
wants
yourself.
this.
Do it.
There's literally
And promote it to old moms in like New York City Upper East Side schools. Literally, this is what you need to do.
we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it in the sea. We're gonna start in the sea, and we're gonna definitely
8 o'clock. Start your clubs at 8 o'clock. I'm not kidding.
We're gonna start it.
You think I'm kidding?
No, I'm not kidding. I'm
People
telling
will
you,
come.
I literally just DM'd him the
People
other
come.
day.
No
I was
one
like,
does this.
Yeah. Because I went out the last weekend. I left my apartment at 11:47 because I wanted to.
I'm asleep. 11.
I know you are.
What are you
You're about to
doing?
wake up in 2 hours after 11:47. But I don't have kids, so like, and I'm in the nightlife business, so I wanted to see like, is nightlife alive? Are people vibing? And yeah, there are bars that are going to 4 a.m. for sure. So there's that camp of people, but there is that other camp of people that do want to do that. So I don't care.
Courtney, do you want to fill a gap? Do you want to fill a gap? I'm not kidding.
Let's fill it up.
8 o'clock.
I'm going to do it.
People line up for your tables.
Yeah.
So the party starts at 8:30.
Let's go.
And ends at 11. You're going to fill a gap that
Yeah.
doesn't exist in this city. I will come dance and I'll bring all my friends because we all need to be asleep by 11.
Okay.
All of us.
Maybe we start at 6. I don't
Nah.
know.
6, you can like welcome in the suits, the happy hour.
Yeah.
But cater to moms and couples. 8:30 start the dance. I'm not kidding.
Oh, we'll do it. We're going to do it. No, I'm going to. And
I'll start the party for you.
I know
really
you will. I know you are because you are a party. You are a walking party. And please don't ever. Yeah, you are. You look like party. You don't ever lose. And I know you won't. But like, don't ever. I mean, this is also why we align. Like, why I love you so much. And we're intense in our own different ways. But like, at the end of it, you embody what you believe in, and so do I. Right? Like, I believe in fun and connection and art and life and more life, and you believe in it too. And so this is why we've always been aligned, and why you design for hospitality, for venues that want to dance. I remember you did like right away, you were like, I want to dance, and it was early, and you came in, and you're creating these.
I dropped it low.
Yeah, you dropped it low.
Dropping low.
Just know that we're gonna put that in for the podcast. It's gonna be part of our reels. Yeah,
I actually just sent that video to some guy I'm dating. He's like,
some guy you're dating. Excuse me. So is this like a new guy dating?
We're gonna manifest good energy on it.
Manifest good energy for it. So okay, very good. Okay, so like as we round out, let's just talk a little bit about some of the venues that your work is in, and then let's also talk about your new line, because you just launched a new dinnerware line, and it's your beautiful art on plates and things. And honestly, like are you the Jewish Martha Stewart? Yeah.
That's what I need to create myself in.
Honestly,
yes, that's
like
what I am.
I was
realistically, as a human being, that's what I am. Now I just need to grow the brand around it.
Martha always gets up
her.
at 4 a.m.
I love her.
Yeah, everyone does. I mean, she's
no, some people hate on her because they're jealous. So many people hate on her. Oh my gosh. For me, she's my queen. But so many people hate on her because they're haters.
Oh, no. Those people, we don't even know. No. No, Martha's the queen. And she gets up early, and she's always been about making it beautiful. And she was definitely the pioneer about making things beautiful, and, definitely making a
hosting
housewife.
DIY.
Yeah.
Well,
she's an icon.
Turning being a housewife into career, which is
she did,
literally what I wanted to do.
Yeah, well, I mean... So let's talk about the very first hospitality venue, nightlife venue, or venue.
I wish I even remembered, but I design tile.
Yes.
I design tile. So I designed award-winning Best in Show tile for Tile Bar. And that is what was my segue into the hospitality world, because they would start bringing me to BTNY and HG Expo, which are the two largest hospitality conventions in the United States.
Yep.
And my tiles are very beautiful. So they'd end up, actually, were they the first? No, Eden Rock, St. Bart's, I love you, Fabrice Moisey, and I'll tell you in a second. My tile is in very beautiful venues, from casinos in Vegas to the new Waldorf Astoria renovation, just use it, to my first library in Hartford, Connecticut. And quite frankly, actually, my tiles in hundreds of spaces I've never seen before. That's how I met Dina Singer at one of the shows, and Garrett, which is ultimately how I met you. But actually, my first entryway into hospitality was with the Eden Rock. Fabrice Moisey, the GM of the Eden Rock, he and I met at a dinner. He fell in love with my art. And the ethos of the Eden Rock was family, fashion, art, music. And I'm relatively pretty, right?
You're super pretty.
Thanks.
You're hella pretty,
you.
yeah.
I live this privileged life so I can talk that talk and walk that walk, which their clientele are very high end, the most high end in the world, okay? and I also have a skill. So I had 2 solo exhibitions where they flew all my art down, flew me down. I painted live at their Remy bar, designed limited edition clutches for their gift shop. And that was my segue into hospitality, which P.S. could be no, I'm not going to, wow, they set the bar so high. I'm so spoiled by them. I can't even tell you because they're one of the most prestigious properties in the world, okay, how they run their operations. And then I started working with the one and only, the Kersner hotels, doing the same thing, live painting, activations, art programming for their guests. Very niche, super, super luxury, right? So we're not talking 5-star hotels, we're talking like 5+ star hotels that want something unique and engaging and different for their guests, from coloring books designed just for their guests, right? Oh, every year we do our annual sandcastle contest and whale watching. We want you to design a coloring book based on these brand ethos of ours. And art programming, that's really how I entered hospitality, live paintings, exhibitions. And then my tile segued me into the design side with architects and designers, which is ultimately I met you through, Dina, who I met at these shows. I work with a brand called Picasso, but I call them hospitality. They're commercial. I do commercial and hospitality at this point. I do a lot of the Kendra Scott retail stores, prints for their stores, fine art for Picasso Homes. They're the leaders in luxury co-ownership. So my brand now spans the gamut from luxury residential, where I started my career, to hospitality, hotels, restaurants, bars, to commercial, retail, offices. I actually love hospitality. I love hospitality. It's fun. And on the luxury residential side, it's fun because I get to create very, very unique stuff, but there's so much hand-holding. They're not visionaries. They're not used to this. But when you're working hospitality and you're working with the designers, this is their job. So they're like very decisive, can make decisions. But I get to also be creative. Sometimes, not always. Sometimes I have to design very generic stuff. Actually, I loved working on your project because it was so bespoke. One of my favorite designs ever. I'm not kidding. This wallpaper, one of my most unique designs I've ever done, ever. But sometimes on the hospitality side, I need to be very generic, so it's more boring, but there's a lot of money in hospitality.
And why do you think it's important in these hospitality venues? Because all right, we can dumb it down to all right, liquor, that's going to get you to where you need to be. Maybe food because you're hungry. Okay, but why do you think as an artist that it's important to make these places beautiful?
So first, I'm going to say about hospitality, because hospitality runs a gamut. It's not just like a unique place like this. You're talking, 1-star to 5-star. You're talking bars, restaurants. Hospitality is not just like a cool lounge, right? From a designer's perspective, it's hotels, restaurants, bars. I actually don't think all of hospitality is as fun as what you've created, okay? What you created is unique and bespoke.
Thank you. We do aim to be fun here, but do you think, that there is something to be said, do you think that, I'm not a 5-star hotel. I'm fun, but do you think that there's any advantage to being fun, I guess? Or what do you think?
So I'll tell you, I really believe that one of my strengths as a designer and artist is understanding the goal of the project itself, the demographic, and delivering to each client what their needs are. And I think that that's one of the things that makes me unique as an artist and designer, because many artists just want to create what they want to create, and they're not catering their work towards the client. So for me, the best way I can deliver a strong work product to my clients is to understand what the project is, the goal of the project, who their demographic is, and deliver them artwork according to their needs, whether it's the most hyper-specialized design or the most generic, boring geometric abstraction. And that's where I differ as an artist.
Boom. And that is the dynamite, because this is literally a conversation I just had, as in you are catering to your guest, as in your clients are your guests and you're catering to them and you see what they need. You're anticipating the guest need, and that's what hospitality is. When you are hospitable, when you are the host, you see, oh, my guest needs more water. My guest needs something else to eat. My guest needs this, that, or the other. You don't just design for you. You put your guest needs first and then you cater to them, which is why you're able to deliver this incredible product, because you can feel that, sense that, see that, and be able to be put in all these different environments. Someone like me who's like, I needed to be crazy and wild and fun and make this giraffe's tongue out, and then probably a minimalist hotel that's like, it needs to be very upscale. We're 5 stars plus. We need it to be like this. We need it to be very, and you're like, okay. And you are able, into whichever direction that you're pulled, you're able to go that direction, produce that product, and make it amazing. And that's the basis of hospitality, is reading people and delivering to them exactly what they want. Whether you're the bartender delivering a cocktail that they really want, whether you're the DJ that's delivering the sound that they really want, or you're the designer that's delivering them the look that they really want. And it's a real talent. It's not that everyone has. It's something that, lives inside of you. But, that lends to my last question is this. I want to ask you, what advice you would give to aspiring artists that are starting out or maybe in the same position to you. And even though I think that they're going to hear that and they're going to see like how important it is to really read your guests and show up for them. But what advice would you give to aspiring artists that are starting out?
It's not your creativity that's going to make you successful. It's your hustle. Excuse my language, but don't be a pussy. If someone says no, follow up again and again. If that doesn't work out, on to the next. But you need to have a thick skin. It's not personal, and work hard. You can literally be the most talented person in the world. It doesn't matter. If you are easily deterred or get your feelings hurt because someone didn't like your work or it didn't work out, you're going nowhere. You need to develop a thick skin. You need to assess your cost of goods. I get a lot of questions from creatives about how to price your work. Well, how long did it take you? What were the costs of your supplies? Art is a deregulated commodity, so you could charge whatever. But the basis of business is, what are your costs of good on a product, and what's your overhead, your operating, whatever it is, and pricing things out. So my labor plus my costs are pretty much how I price my art, and just work hard, meet people, develop connections, follow up. Don't be a pussy. Excuse my
Cheers,
language.
baby. Elizabeth
Don't be a
Sutton,
pussy.
Don't be a pussy, and cheers to the
Oh
goddamn
my God.
hustle. I'm like, out there. Cheers
Is that
to the
going to be
hustle, honey.
the name of this episode? Don't be a pussy.
Don't be a pussy. I think it might be. Don't be a pussy and hustle. Cheers to you, Elizabeth Sutton. Hell yeah, baby.
Don't be a pussy, be a giraffe.
Don't be a pussy, be a giraffe. Amazing.